Hello and welcome. Today's episode should be a fun one. Should be about sales. Should be about how to make money, how to have fun doing it, how to really sell air conditioners, which is a thing of its own. Just jumping right into it, I think before we can even sell anything, we need to identify who exactly our customer is. For a lot of new businesses, small businesses like myself, we really are stuck down to about 3 different types of customers. We can break them into the rock and a hard spot customer. These are critical failure equipments. Homeowner has no choice but to get new heat and air, and they have to get it from somewhere. Might as well be you. Our second type of customer is the remodel people, right? People doing home renovations. And our third type of customer is the home builders and the small contractors for single-family dwellings. These are really the majority of most of our business. And for a lot of us who are starting from the bottom, the majority of our business is in the first category that we're going to talk about, and that's rock and a hard spot. So when we talk about 98% of our business is going to be rock and a hard spot kind of customers, they can be broken down into 2 categories. Those who have the money and the finances available to buy a brand new unit right now, even though, man, this is a difficult decision, or B, they don't have any money. So we need to know, do we have a lender on hand for half of our customers, potential customers that probably don't have $7,000 stacked up in an account that they could pay us for our services on that fateful day that they have us. So knowing that it's not exactly a fun time for the homeowner, to have empathy and compassion for the situation. Yes, we have a lot of different things that we offer, but it's our job to know these things and to be listening to the homeowner, which kind of slides us into history. The second thing we do once we've identified our customer is establishing a history of the equipment that we're replacing. And when we try to ask the homeowner, can you tell me about your equipment? Wow, I bought this house 20 years ago and it's been running great. Or I've replaced 10 blower motors in the past 20 years. Has it been a problem child? Has everything been running normal? Does the homeowner, I don't know anything about it. We get all those different types of things. And these are all good notes to try to keep into mind. So the history of our unit is going to tell us a couple things. We're going to get most of that information hopefully from the homeowner, but we're going to get the true story from the unit itself, right? The unit's going to talk to us. We're going to be able to look at the blower motor and look at the squirrel cage in there. Is it filthy? Is it loaded with debris? We're going to be able to see the evaporator coil, how clean was the system running during the duration of its life. That's going to let us know things about filtration systems. It's going to let us know about duct sizing. If they're complaining about they've been through a bunch of motors, we absolutely need to go through sizing to make sure that we're not trying to put a 20-year stamp on something that's got high static pressure from the beginning, right? From 20 years ago when the initial ductwork was done. Now, the majority of our jobs, we don't really run into that. Everything's running smooth. It's been 25 years, and that day is today, right? So it's really easy change outs. And, keep in mind when we're fishing our history section for not only about, tell me about the unit, tell me about what you know, we're also listening for key things like, it's always cold in my back bedroom, but really hot over there by these runs. Right? These are key things for us that the customers are vomiting to us, and we need to be able to translate that information. It had a bunch of mold in it. We have to clean it all the time. Or my old house. Any mentions of these type of things are good notes that, as well as working them up a quote, we already know that we might want to try to offer them a UV light to address those mold issues they may have had in the past so that we don't have those. And, those mold issues aren't always the customer's fault. A lot of it's in the conditions that the unit itself is installed in, creating that right type of damp environment. So getting them on a good PM contract, so where someone's constantly cleaning those drains, putting condensate tablets in that pan, once or twice a year, can guarantee that we can definitely put a 20-year stamp on that equipment that we just sold our customer. I think it's a good time to talk about that customer relationship, and how to be a good HVAC salesman is how to read your customer. How to not sell them things that you think that they would want or that they need, but being able to hear the customer's concerns and to be able to say, do I have something that can address that comfort issue? And if I do, oh, awesome, let's work that into the cost, let's work that into a quote, and let's tell our customer about it, that actually that's a problem that we can fix or we can't. So if they've mentioned something like allergies being a major issue, then yeah, it's worth the time to talk about upgrading to a 5-inch filter base of some nature, right? But if that's not a concern for our customer, there's no reason for us to be there trying to sell them anything. right? If we're called out for a service, we're there for a service. I don't care if it's a 40-year-old dinosaur unit. My job is to fix that unit at all costs until the homeowner says too much, meow, let's just change it out. That we're resurrectors, okay? That's service tech, super tech. That's what we do. That's our flavor. So, when we're typically looking at a sales situation, it's because our service call has led us into that. The history of the unit has led us into the situation where it's more cost effective to replace it than it would be to repair it at this point. So now that we've talked and had a really good relationship with our customer, our homeowner, we're going to move over to the thermostat. I like to take pictures of thermostat, take it right off the wall, and count the wires. How many wires are there that's running to my indoor unit? This lets me know when I'm selling them equipment, if I need 5 wire there, 8 wire there, is it already there? Am I going to have to run new wire? That's got to be worked into a quote to give a good, accurate quote so everybody can be happy. While we're making our way to our unit, we want to see things like the data tags. We want pictures of it to know the sizing of it. Is it an upflow or a downflow situation? What does the condensate look like? Is there a trap there? These are all things that I'm looking for. What's the return base situation looking like? Is it in good shape? Is it rotting out and it's going to have to be rebuilt? All of these things are very important to know. Grabbing a tape measure and measuring not only the dimensions of the unit, but, the access hole to get to said equipment. That's really important. A lot of guys are selling equipment and they're not servicing set of equipment. They're not even the ones installing it, and that's really where the problem comes in. They didn't take into account that this attic has got a tiny access hole that's smaller than my unit. That's a whole nother a bag of worms that we didn't anticipate getting into that's going to cost us. It's going to cost us a smiley face in one department or another. So we want to be prepared for that. Measurements of the attic space access, the closet that it sits on, pictures of the supply plenum and the return plenums. What do those grills look like? We're already there, pictures, they're worth 1,000 words. Make our way to the breaker panel and take a picture of their breaker panel to make sure that we have the room and the space in the breaker box to fit our new unit that we're getting ready to install. We also want to be looking at the copper. What size are those copper lines and what kind of condition and shape are those copper lines in? How far is that drain that we talked about earlier? Does it run until it drains out to where it drains out at? Pictures and measurements of these things can give us very close, accurate quotes so that we can get smiley faces across the board where everybody's happy, from the homeowners to the installers to the company. That's pretty much the basic intake information that we need for how to give an accurate quote. Pictures of all these things, measurements of these things, and send up to the office so that we can give them kind of a good, better, best quote and have a realistic understanding of what it's going to cost to pull that kind of project off. As some bonus tips, let's do a little bit of freelance tips on sales. We're not car salesmen, okay? I know we're in that kind of car salesman price range, but we're not car salesmen. Our products sell themselves. It's our job to be able to read the needs of our customer and to understand that every customer is an individual. Every customer is a person, a real-life person. And when we're dealing with their comfort situations, their comfort needs, that's an important position to be in. So, when it comes to IAQ, we don't really want to have a quota there. Guys, I want to make $5,000 in our IAQ department this month, so sales are going up. Get out there and go sell them 5-inch filters. That really takes away from us being a service department and puts us more into like the rest of the world where we're just sales. I got to sell 10 5-inch filters this month alone or my boss is going to be mad. And they're doing it all for a 3% spiff if they're lucky. It's just, I think it's bad practice. Instead, we're already supposed to be there. We were called in by the customer. While we were there, we noticed a few things. We just so happen to have a few things that could address these few things that we noticed. If you're interested, let us know. We'll get started on it right away. If not a big deal. I at least told you what was available. Keeping our business honest like this and keeping it open, keeping it practical, we only sell them what they need. Now, when it comes time to sell them what they need, we want to make sure we're selling them a good product, something that we can stand behind, not something we're going to sell and run away and change our number on, right? Because we sold 150 of them in a week at a good cost. We want something that I'm going to put in a homeowner's house and put a 20-year stamp on. right? Be proud of it for 20 years. I can come back in 19 years from today, and that unit's going to look very similar to what it looks like right now, in great condition, because we installed it well, we met the demands of the homeowner, we met the demands of the company, and we met the demands of the equipment. It all came together seamlessly. Thank you guys for listening in. As always, subscribe to my content every Friday. I'm going to be trying to drop some things while I still have it. If you have questions, want to go deeper on any topics, light me up in the comment section and let me know. Like and subscribe. Y'all be good, or as usual, be very good at it.